Education. In this world, education is your home. It is the basics and the key of building the works of your brain and your heart. Therefore, education is the basics of building a person. And then, furthermore, building a group of person, for example, a country, and then eventually building up the future of the people of the future. That is why, to me, it is such an important system. It is so intricate and delicate, and it should never be looked past. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The topic of our debate is the House would abolish primary and middle school years that group children based on their age, instead, group them by competency and intelligence. I firmly believe that this would be the next step in enhancing and optimizing the future selves of the world. Let me take you back on what education is. It is a process, an experience of learning and taking from the things that we see in the world, generally or systematically, inside a classroom. In Indonesia, the world of education is summed up in a minimum of 12 years. That is 6 years of primary school, 3 years of middle school, and 3 years of high school. That is the minimum. And you should ask me why specifically abolish the primary and the middle school years. Firstly, because those years and those ages are where we are mostly known for developing our cognitive and social skills and any other basic brain skills that we should develop over the years of education. Imagine if you were children taking your first steps in education in your primary school, and then you meet this generalized, standardized system that you eventually find out that you can't reach. And how are you supposed to develop your motivation over the years to study? And then you lose hope, and then you see the system that you can't reach over the years. And how are you supposed to reach those systems in high school and in university years when you can't even reach them in primary school? That is why these skills that you're supposed to develop from the first place is so different from everyone, and you can't put them in a standard. And these skills don't only teach you how to study, but they also teach you how to motivate yourself, how to study over the years. Not only in the education world, but also in the work field, where these motivation you put into use in the work field as well. This brings me to point number 2. You cannot generalize the education world because each student is different. For example, one kid is better at literacy than memorization, and the other is better at memorization than literacy. And then in the test, you have to be good at both because that is generally what gets you past your year. But what if this kid is only good at memorization, so they get a specific class for advanced memorization, and then they learn the basics of literacy and then grow their skills from that point on. And then the other kid gets vice versa, but with the subject that they're good at and the subject that they're generally not good at. This means that they would get to graduate in the same year, and they get to pass because they do not get this standardized education system, and instead get it customized to what they're good at and what they're not good at. Their classes are customized to their competency and intelligence. Therefore, they get to graduate in the same year, but also gain the skills that they are not only comfortable with, but also they get to develop comfortably with. So they would not get intimidated, and they would get hope, and they would continue to be motivated to learn these subjects throughout the years. And the point that is so important to me is to not lose that motivation because of a standardized system. Did you know that only 21.1% of Indonesians get past high school years? That means that the rest of the percentage don't get past high school. And this is why I agree so much that we Indonesians got rid of the UN or the Ujian Nasional. That is a standardized test that middle school and primary school and high school kids should get past to get through the years. Now we use a report system or a report that accumulates the years that you get over the semester. But this also means that the scores that you get is also standardized to a syllabus that the system gives you. That is also not personalized and could also still intimidate a student and demotivate them from gaining the best possible the best possible score. This means that students get left behind. What if they do not get past that report score? What if they get a bad report just because they can't reach a standard that the standard of certain subjects, but still get a good score in certain subjects that they're good at? Are they not supposed to? Are they not able to continue school? Are they? They should be able to continue school. They should be able to meet their needs in getting better at the subject instead of just falling behind on the subject. That is why, to me, that generalizing the education world is not well. And this is also seen in the work field. These days, bosses and the employment is not based on age. Bosses these days are younger and are based on skills instead of age. This could be reflected on the education world. And for example, that is not a bad thing because, for example, the bosses could be good at social skills and management skills, and the employed could be good at basic skills such as numerization and data. And that just means that they're based on skills and not based on age. And that is why, to me, it is so important in also developing these personal skills of a child, because it reflects on not only the education that they get throughout the years, but also it is reflected on the work field and the motivation they get throughout the work field. So this is why, to me, it is so important for the primary and middle school ages to not be based on age, but to be based on competency, on intelligence, because the education that they get throughout these years do not only develop the cognitive skills, the basic cognitive and socialization skills, and any basic skills that you get, but it is also reflected upon the school years to come forward, but also the work years to come forward. And this also means that no children gets left behind, and while also developing your personal skills and recognizing those personal skills without demotivating yourselves just because you cannot get to this standardized education system and certain subjects that you cannot reach. And that closes the argument. To me, this should be a reflective upon the education system that we already have right now, and this should reflect the fact that each student is special, and they cannot be held up to a standard that is built by a system that may not even be based on each children's experience. Thank you for listening to this argumentation.